Good evening to all of you and welcome back to Career Launch IAS. This is Preeti Sagar and I'm going to discuss newspaper analysis, that is the Hindu analysis of 18th September 2021. So first important article that we will analyze, that is Supreme Court Collegium on mission mode to fill vacancies. So this is this article which I'm talking about. So here. Yeah. So recommendations include 8 new chief justices across High Court. So basically, this article is about the collegium system, which is appointing which is appointing judges in the Supreme Court and High Court. So basically, here if you see the title, that is about collegium on mission mode. So mission mode to fill the vacancies, because lots of vacancies or lots of posts had been vacant in many of the high courts and many of the places, many of the posts in Supreme Court. So recently, very large number of judges had been appointed through this collegium system. So recommendations include 8 chief justices across high courts. So for high courts, somewhere 8 high courts, recommendations had been given to appoint chief justices for them. So in the fast lane, if we see the details of it, so in the last 1 month, Supreme Court Collegium has recommended somewhere over 100 judicial appointments, several transfers and elevation of judges. So this collegium system, this is not only for the appointment of judges, but it also deals with the transfers and elevation. Elevation means promotion of judges. Then 9 new judges named for Supreme Court has already taken oath. So 9 judges, they have already taken oath and they are placed in Supreme Court. 8 High Court judges recommended for elevation as Chief Justice of High Courts. So this recommendation had been given for 8 High Courts where Chief Justices had to be appointed. 5 High Court Chief Justices recommended for transfer. So as I've said, that collegium system, it does not only deal with the appointment of the judges, but it also deals with transfer and elevation, that is promotion of judges. So in the five high court chief justices, they have been recommended for the transfer from one high court to another high court. So here what is important for the examination. So basically this article is important for the prelims regarding collegium system. You need to have detail of the collegium system. Basically collegium system, if we say, so this is about appointment of judges by judges. All right. So Chief Justice of India is part of collegium system where the appointment of judges are being taken place by President of India or in the name of President of India, and recommendations are given by the judges and Supreme Court who are part of, judges and CJI who is part of this collegium system. So after 1993, this collegium system had been adopted for the appointment of judges, and since then it is in the practice. So you need to have details of collegium system and for the prelims paper. What is important for the mains paper? So this is important for the mains paper GS2, and that is polity and governance. And under this, you need to have clear idea or regard a clear picture over the issues and challenges with the collegium system. So if question ask you about critically analyze or critically evaluate collegium system of appointment of judges. So you need to have those points, certain points for the criticism that you can write about collegium system. So first you need to have a clear definition what collegium system is and how it is functioning and what are the criticism points or disadvantages and advantages that you need to know about regarding collegium system. All right. So this is all about this article. Next article is GST Council not for inclusion of petroleum products, FinMin. So this is about GST Council. So 45th GST Council meeting had been taken place, and in this. Some of the decisions had been taken. So GST Council not for inclusion of petroleum products, as it has been said by Finance Ministry. Center turns down state's plea for compensation beyond June 2022. So basically, yesterday as well, we have seen one of the articles in The Hindu, which has talked about that petroleum should be added or should be held under the purview or ambit of GST. It means petroleum products need to taken under GST. But Finance Ministry has declined this proposal. Center has turned down state's plea for compensation beyond June 2020. So this is another major decision had been taken by GST Council. So basically, when GST had implemented in 2017, in July 2017, so it has been said and assured the state governments that whatever revenue loss would be of the states, that will be fulfilled by the GST collection for next 5 years. It means till 2022, for those 5 years, state governments will get the compensation amount, whatever loss they will incur because of collection of or implementation of GST. But it has been turned down last year in 2020 itself. So it was only 3 years past of GST implementation, and in 2022 pandemic had occurred. All such economic activities had been stopped down, and lockdown had been imposed. So because of that, economic activities had been turned down. So in the GST Council, after first quarter, when they met, then states started demanding their revenue loss compensation. So state said, central government or finance ministry said that that was because of act of God. So it cannot be given compensation right now because of this pandemic, which is an act of God. So in that situation, compensation cannot be given to the states for the while. So this the GST Council had met recently last day yesterday. So what they have talked about, so what are these? So this GST Council was 45th in number. So 45th GST Council meeting had been chaired by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and key decisions had been taken. So what are those? So concessional tax rates on COVID-19 essential medicines like tocilizumab extended till December 31. So we have seen that in the 3-4 months past, or you can say in the month of March, April, May, June, and in fact few days of July as well. Second wave of COVID-19 was on its peak when medication was required, medicines were required, and medical facilities was needed like oxygen, ventilators. So that so India was in the grave situation because of second wave of COVID-19, and many of the deaths had been taken place. So during that time, what has happened? The essential medicines for COVID-19 treatment, that was made tax-free. And this tax-free had been extended till 31st December 2021. So this decision has been taken in GST Council. Next was muscular and atrophy drugs like Zolgensma and Viltepso that cost around 16 crore has exempted from GST Council. So this has also been kept out. Then import of leased aircraft exempted from IGST. So from integrated GST, this import of leased aircraft that has been exempted. Food delivery apps to collect GST instead of restaurants. So it means whenever you had been ordered your food through Zomato or Swiggy or any other app, so you had to pay GST to the restaurant. So now this GST will not to be paid to the restaurant, but it will be paid to the online platform or to these service providers like Zomato or Swiggy. So this decision has been taken. Then tax on fortified rice kernels or ICDS scheme reduced from 18% to 5%. So fortified rice, that is vitamin D and vitamin A added in the rice. So this fortified right for ICDS a scheme, integrated child development scheme. So the fortified rice tax had been reduced from 18 to 5%. Next was GST on cancer drug Keytruda, that has brought down from 12% to 5%. So this has also been changed in this new GST Council meeting. So these two are very, very important articles. So a few of the things you can note down for the prelims examination as well as for the mains examination. So for mains, GS3 paper, that is economy paper, so GST Council is important for that. Next article which is important, that is act and friction. Basically, I'm talking about this article, act and friction. So this is on the editorial page you can get. And what is important in this article? So basically, if you see, so this article is talking about tribunals. Okay, so some reforms had been taken place in tribunals. So what is that? A national commission is essential to make appointments to tribunals. So basically, tribunals are what? That provide faster judicial services. Okay, so fast delivery of justice. If you want, then you need to proceed to tribunals. So in India, various tribunals are there. In every field, tribunals had been formed. So what is the issue basically behind it? So basically what happened recently, development had demonstrated union government's implacable determination to undermine the autonomy of various tribunals in the country. So first issue is issue with the tribunals is what, that is vacancy of the post. So vacant many posts had been vacant in tribunal, and recently Parliament had enacted Tribunal Reforms Act that contained provisions that had been struck down by Supreme Court in an ordinance issued earlier. So basically, ordinance issued by central government that can be judicially reviewed by the Supreme Court. So it has been reviewed, and Supreme Court struck down those provisions of the ordinance of the tribunal reforms. But what Parliament had done, Parliament had reframed the same provision had been provided under this Tribunal Reforms Act, and it was made an act. Okay, so those provisions which had been struck down by the Supreme Court, now these are being implemented, and it was made an act. So after being sharply questioned by Supreme Court on the unusual delay in the filling up of vacancies among judicial and administrative members, it released a set of appointments this week. So some of appointments had been taken place. Supreme Court had asked, what is the problem? Why these many vacancies or posts are vacant, and the vacancies are not fulfilled yet? Then some of the appointments had been taken place, and court found that there was cherry picking. So basically, court has found that those who were favorable, that had been appointed on such post among the names that has been chosen by the various selection committee. So this is what, this is somewhere you can see that this is the tussle between legislature and judiciary. So here, instead of exhausting the selection list put together by the panels of judges and officials, government had waded into the waiting list to exercise its choice. And in another development, government had cut short the tenure of the acting chairperson of National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, that is Justice A.I.S. Chima. So his retirement was near, and before his 10 days before his appointment retirement, he had been retired. So, Mr. Chima, he has set to deliver in some of the matters on which NCLAT had reserved judgments before retiring on September 20th. So, September 20th was the day when he had to retire, and he had taken up a few of the various important issues to be judged or to deliver justice on those matter before 20 September, before the day of the retirement. So, he had taken those 10 days for him, but before 10 days before his retirement, he had been retired. So government's justification was that it was going by its latest law, which under which acting chairperson's 4-year tenure would end on 10th September, and that Justice M. Venugopal had already been appointed in his place. So this was the justification given by the government of India, that whatever they have done under the ambit of the new law, that is Tribunal Reforms Act. All right. So, and the new justice, that is Venugopal, and Justice M. Venugopal, he had been already appointed on his place. So a bench headed by Chief Justice of India, that is presently it is N.V. Ramana. So he was of the opinion that he should be allowed to complete his tenure, and even he remarked that court would not hesitate to stay the operation of the act on its own motion. So the Chief Justice has said that he should be allowed to complete his tenure, which is mentioned as September 20th, and he will not, or you can say the court would not hesitate to put a stay on the implementation of the Tribunal Reforms Act. So the matter had been resolved soon, and the government backed down and agreed that Justice Venugopal would go on leave until Justice Chima get retired on September 20. It means he got the time when he can deliver the justice on those matters. So issue of tribunals has been a source of considerable friction between government and court, and that has been often disagreed on the eligibility criteria and the conditions of these services, and a series of judgments had gone against the government. Clauses had introduced changes to the conditions of the service of members of the various tribunals that had been subjected to judicial views. And here court wants to ensure that reasonable tenure was available to the appointees, and they do not allow criteria related to age and experience to be used to undermine their dependence. It means age and experience should not be taken as undermining the experience of the judges. Sorry, independence of the judges. So tribunals have also been seen as an institution that were a rung lower in independence as regular courts, even though there is a wide agreement that administrative tribunals are required for quicker and more focused adjudication of cases that require specialization and domain expertise. So several laws now provide such adjudicative bodies, and executive does have an interest in retaining some leverage over their members. So Supreme Court has repeatedly called for the establishment of National Tribunal Commission to make suitable appointments and evaluate the functioning of the tribunals. So if government has been dragging its feet on it, and it is only because there is a method to its maliciousness. So basically, a new commission is required which can take care of the suitable appointments for the tribunals as well as functioning of the tribunals. So basically, why tribunals are required, that is important for the mains examination. Basically, if we see, there are certain sectors, certain areas where issues had been arised, and tribunals had been formed for those particular areas. It means, for example, companies are there. So National Company Law Appellate Tribunal will look after the cases which is related to the organizations or companies or any establishment. All right. Similarly, there are tribunals for the river disputes, tribunal for rape cases. So these tribunals, if had been established, that is established to look after or to deliver justice in the particular field, so that quick delivery of justice can be provided, or quick justice delivery can be seen in the country. So that is the purpose behind the tribunal. But if these type of cherry picking appointment would be taken place, or um, what say retirement before the time will be taken place in the name of new act, so this will be violation of the constitution somewhere, and that is why Supreme Court has taken action against it. So this is all in this article, and this is important for the paper. You can read this article and fetch important points from here. So next article that I would like to talk about, that is Australia informed India about AUKUS, says envoy. It means this is about Australia, UK, and USA grouping or security partnership that I had already talked about yesterday, that they have formed a security group in Indo-Pacific region. And here, what has been said, so it will not affect Quad security dialogue. So this has been said by the Australia, or official statement had been issued, that if this grouping had been found, it has been found for some of the important matters, and India's interest will not be infringed. It will not be taken, will not be hampered, and it will not, in fact, impact or affect Quad security dialogue. So AUKUS is very much in the news. What is the intention behind these countries to form such grouping, that you need to read in this article, and India's role in this, because India is not participating. So what India is thinking about this, so in that you need to know about. Indo-Pacific, it is they are providing the security. So this basically AUKUS is what, that is a military alignment, okay, military alignment of UK, USA, and Australia. So this is somewhere different from Quad. So if question asks that how AUKUS is different from Quad, so this point you can mention. All right. So first is about the difference in the countries, and another is about the nature. So if AUKUS, if we see, so that is particularly, it is focusing on the military alliance, and Quad is a security dialogue. Okay, there is no alliance, but it is only a dialogue. So on the basis of dialogues and deliveries, they discuss about these things. All right. So they do not take action. So importance of Indo-Pacific is also important in this article that you must know about. So you can read these articles. These are important, and I hope it is very much. Yeah, one more article, that is Jaishankar calls for early resolution of LAC issues. In Dashunbe talks, Wang expresses hope that India will meet China halfway to move the situation towards stability. So this article is important for your GS paper 2 under international relations section. So basically, the crux of this article is about India and China's relationship, the changing relationship, where they are meeting in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, and here they had to talk about the resolution process. So resolution process has already been already in the pipe, already in the continuation, and some more meetings or talk of rounds are in the pipeline. So they have to resolve the LAC issue, that is very, very important. And so in this Meanwhile, so amidst of this tussle between both the countries, this Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit had been taking place in the capital of Tajikistan, that is Dushanbe. All right. So, what is the importance of Shanghai Cooperation Organization for India and Australia and Asian countries, Central Asian countries? Its importance is important to know or read about in this article, and what are issues is between India and China that you need to know about, what India and China had talked about, what is the view of China on all such changes taking place in the Indo-Pacific region. That is very, very important. And every day we can see articles related to this in the newspaper. So you can follow these articles. All right. Then India and Chinese officials, they are about to held 13th round of their military talks, basically regarding the resolution of the LAC matter. So basically, if this round of talks are going on, so what is the matter behind it? Okay, we have seen that both the countries were constructing in the border area, which India opposed against China and China opposed against India. So if these things are here, so why these issues had been raised? So so that you need to know about in this article. You can read this article. It is important and very important points you can get from this. So this is all about today. We have discussed all such important articles that has published in today's The Hindu, and you can read, you can make your views, you can note down the important points from these articles. So for till then, that is it, and we'll meet on next day. That is on Monday, basically. So on weekend we do not come with the analysis. So on Monday we'll meet. So till then, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.